What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. You guys already know what we do here, man. We break down scary and creepy videos, man, on the net, bro. From YouTube videos to TikTok videos to IG reels. Anything weird, usual, and unexplained, you can find right here on this channel. Like I said, I'm gonna begin you guys on feedback. You guys said how the volume is low, so I adjusted the volume today, man. Let me know what you guys think of the levels. Got a good one, man. So let's dive on in.
Other videos with the most haunting backstories, and this series is going to be crazy. This is security footage of Luca Magnotta kidnapping a man named Jung Lin before making the infamous one lunatic, one ice pick video. He tied him to a bed and then with an ice pick he stabbed Jung Lin until he died. After he died, Luca did the following. He cut his head, legs, and arms off and then started sexually abusing the body. He stuck a bottle inside of Jung Lin's body and even ate his flesh, and also fed the flesh to the dog in the room. You also see him take Jung Lin's body parts to the garbage can in the video too, which is right here. Luca Magnotta then mailed Jung Lin's hands and feet to elementary schools and federal political party offices. And after a video depicting the murder was posted online, which I explained on this channel in detail, Luca Magnotta fled Canada, becoming the subject of an Interpol Red Notice and prompting an international manhunt. In 2012, he was arrested in an internet cafe in Berlin while searching himself up on the internet. The video that Luca posted of him committing the murder is just awful and inhumane. This man was obsessed with being famous and did anything to do so. He wanted to become a serial killer, but he got caught before he could carry out any more gruesome murders like this. I don't recommend searching for this video at all, especially if you've seen my video explaining it already. But if you're interested in this case, there is a Netflix documentary called Don't F with Cats that explains the case start to finish, and I highly recommend watching that instead of the one lunatic, one ice pick video. This footage is just so haunting because Jung Lin thought he was going to have a fun night with the stranger he just met, but instead it turned into a living nightmare. And what's even more sinister is that this wasn't a random murder. Luca planned this before Jung Lin even arrived at the place he was staying at. These are celebrities.
Really? Freaking case, man. So that chills down my damn spine, bro. And I can't believe like sometimes people be doing those acts, man. They make videos on it, post it online, bro. Don't know how many freaking people that can affect, man, when they see that type of freaking horrific acts, man, caught on freaking camera, bro. You guys know what to do, man. Comment section down below.
You didn't know committed crimes. First off, we have Martha Stewart. Now, she got into trouble with some inside trading in 2004. Jury found her guilty on 4 counts of obstructing justice and lying to investigators. Doesn't sound too concerning, but she spent 5 months in jail because of it. Next up, we have Phil Lewis. Now, most people know him as our childhood favorite guy, Mr. Mosby. But did you know that he actually killed someone? He killed a 21-year-old woman in December 1991 from a drunk driving accident. His blood measured 3 times the limit of legal intoxication. He served a year in prison, 2 years on probation, and over 350 hours of community service. And finally, we have Jeffrey Jones. I'd say his most famous role was Mr. Rooney from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. In 2002, he was arrested for the possession of child pornography. The accuser was just 14 when the offense occurred. The misdemeanor charge was dropped, but he still served 5 years probation. And to this day, he is still a registered sex offender.
This is one of the most...
It's freaking crazy, bro. Goes to show you, man, like how people with power and freaking influence, how they could like freaking try to break it past, man. Because I didn't know that about Martha Stewart or that actor guy, man. Freaking really, man. She spent like 5 months in jail. I never knew that, bro. Like I said, when I watch these videos together with you guys, I learn new stuff just as you do, man. Like I said, don't believe what I say. Don't believe what the video say. Always do your own research, man. But it goes to show you, but like I said, if you try to have power and influence in this world, how like they try to freaking hide their past, man. So I need you guys' thoughts down below on that.
disgusting and enraging murder cases I've ever come across. Trigger warning, this is graphic and it involves the rough sex defense. 26-year-old Natalie Connolly suffered over 40 injuries and was left in a pool of blood to die in December of 2016. The man who caused these injuries is multimillionaire John Broadhurst, and he's walking free today. Natalie suffered a blown-out fracture to her face, bruising all over her body, and severe lacerations to her V-word. These lacerations came from John inserting a bottle of carpet cleaner. John didn't call for help. He went to sleep and let her die, and he only spent 22 months in custody. The judge said that John has good character because he's a good businessman, and that Natalie wanted these brutal injuries and even caused some of them to herself. Natalie's alcohol levels were that of drinking 5 bottles of wine. She could not consent to this. John said that he wanted to stop, but Natalie kind of made him do this to her. This is the rough sex defense. John only served prison time for not calling an ambulance in time.
What? That case is insane. So because they said she wanted him to do that to her, bro, so he didn't spend no time in jail. And the fact that he's a multimillionaire, that even throws even more red flags up, man. What did he do to the freaking case? Did he pay somebody off, or did he have connections where he can just get around the freaking sentencing or something like that, bro? And I said that she was drinking a lot of wine, so obviously she wouldn't be in the right state of mind, even if she did one of those things to happen to her. And he only got trouble because he didn't call an ambulance in time, bro. Tell you, man, this world is crazy nowadays, bro. Crazy.
There is this case in Mississippi that police still consider to be the worst they have ever seen. It is the absolute horror of what happened to Jessica Chambers. It was 2014, and it was the road that you see behind me, Heron Road, that a 911 call came in to report a fire, a car that was on fire. By the time first responders got to this road, they found 19-year-old Jessica Chambers walking in the middle of the road, completely on fire. What initially looked like an accident quickly turned into a true crime case when she was able to mutter out of her mouth, "He set me on fire." Jessica was taken to the hospital that night, where they found the full extent of her injury. Her attacker had poured gasoline down her throat and up her nose, and then lit a match inside her mouth. Suspect number 1 was the last man she was seen with that night, Quentin Tellis. If you want like a full episode on this, we have one right on Creep Time, the podcast. Problem is, he's been tried twice, 2 mistrials.
2 mistrials, man, and they can't figure it out, bro. He said gasoline poured down her throat and that nose and lit a freaking match in her mouth, man. Imagine that, man. Seeing that? It's freaking evil, bro.
This is Samantha Charvey and her daughter, Vianne Mangrio. Sadly, they are no longer here with us today. They lived in Burnley, UK. They had a beautiful, loving mother and daughter relationship. Vianne's father living in Pakistan. Vianne was only 14, but both her parents were very proud of her because she already had plans to go to Cambridge and study law. Samantha had hired a man named Shabazz Khan to do some handiwork around the house, but he did more than just handiwork on the day of October 1st, 2020. The bodies of Saman and Vianne were found when police decided to go to their house for a welfare check. Police launched an investigation and found that the handyman on CCTV was there that day. 52-year-old Shabazz Khan was then arrested. He had laced Saman's rose wine with diazepam before ultimately strangling her. A little while after that, at 3:25 p.m., Vianne was coming home from school, and when she arrived into the house, Khan drugged her and ended her life too. To throw him off as the suspect, Khan tried to make it look like the bodies were set on fire by the tea kettle, but had trouble doing so. So instead, he started to write on the wall, "COVID-19 and my mom is evil," to make it look like the two mother and daughter didn't like each other and had a falling out. Luckily for autopsy, it showed that that wasn't the case, and that Saman passed away from pressure on her neck, while her daughter's body was so badly burned that they could only say that she died of asphyxiation. In Khan's loft, they found jewelry worth 27,000 pounds that belonged to Saman. Khan was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 34 years, while his wife, who also tried to lie about his whereabouts to the cops, was jailed for 30 months. Always be careful on who you allow in your home.
True statement what he said at the end, man. You never know people's intentions, bro. That's why, man, when somebody come to your house, man, always make sure you have eyes on them, or you gotta watch them or something, man, because you never know. He was just a handyman, and he freaking ended their lives, bro, for some jewelry, bro. Crazy.
We discovered a dead baby in the bathroom. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. It came out of me and I didn't know what to do. Lexi, I told you about this. I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth. It was not crying or I can't. What did you do to it? Okay, stop right here. Stop. What did you do to the baby? Tell me the truth.
517-836-4660.
You put it in the bag?
Yes.
In what bag? Why did you say anything to us? Do you want to get in trouble for this now?
This 13-year-old boy was
Freaking crazy, bro. I seen her kisses a couple times, but that was like some new footage I seen. You saw when she was getting questioned. She was trying to act like, oh, I didn't know what was going on. Like, if you knew if you, I guess, birthed a baby, man, she just put it in a trash can. That freaking case, bro. Still gives me chills to this day, man. To this day.
lured by another 13-year-old girl, then killed. These are the voice notes from Snapchat before when they were arranging it.
You got poison in your heart, fam. Ollie, you're gonna die tomorrow.
The two boys who had fallen out with Ollie then tried to recruit a girl to help with their plan. One posted this message on Snapchat. Hated DZ refers to Ollie's username on social media.
Fam, this is the hated DZ1. Mr. Hated DZ1. Mr. Hated DZ1. I'm gonna kill him.
Oh, and by the way, I'm setting up Ollie today.
The 13-year-old girl who sent that message lured Ollie to the field where he was stabbed. She knew Ollie in real life, but hadn't met the two boys who killed him in person until the day of the murder.
Just wants me to set him up, so then he's gonna go and bang him and pattern him and shit. I'm so excited, you don't understand.
Excited for this?
We got chased by armed feds around the whole of Reading, so now we're kind of wanted. There was armed police that jumped out and tried chasing me with guns and all that. But yeah, I'll FaceTime you as soon as I get through the front door.
And it says she did it for. She knew Ollie before those freaking two random boys did. No, the beef that he had the freaking boys that he had beef with. She didn't know them, but she knew Ollie, and she still set him up, bro. That must have been his friend or something like that. And she just freaking set him up, bro, like it was nothing, man. Sometimes I say, but you can't trust nobody in this world sometimes, bro. You gotta know who to trust and don't, bro. She said she was so excited. You heard that in her voice, the way she said that, man? I gotta do some more research into that case.
We were thrown into this Nevada lake at birth, and now we haunt the waters. Hello, our name is Urban. We're the Pyramid Lake Babies. Hundreds of years ago, the Paiute tribe lived around this lake in Nevada. And they were a very physically strong tribe and were willing to do anything to keep it that way. So whenever a malformed or premature baby was born, they would throw us into Pyramid Lake in order to keep the future of their tribe strong. But these actions caused this lake to forever be cursed and is now haunted by those of us who were thrown in at birth. We feel as we were robbed of our lives, and we are angry. So now we will cry at night, as loud as we can, trying our best to lure victims to the water to take our revenge. So if you are in the area and you hear us, don't try to help unless you're okay with your spirit being trapped in this lake with us forever. We only do this because...
Here's your story.
Shackled at the wrists and ankles, Chad Dorman shuffled into a Claremont County courtroom looking straight ahead. The 34-year-old man's expressionless face similar to how police found him 3 months ago. Stand up! Sitting quietly in front of his Monroe Township home, a rifle by his side. Nearby, his 3 sons, 7, 4, and 3 years old, shot to death. The prosecutor would later say that Dorman not only admitted to executing his sons with his rifle, but claimed he had been planning the murders for months. Dorman in court for 15 minutes on this day, never acknowledging his defense attorneys, but they had been busy, filing on their client's behalf 41 motions. They include a request for Dorman to appear before a jury in plain clothes without restraints. The prosecution did not object to the plain clothes, but replied that it wants Dorman to at least have a non-visible restraint. One motion requests the judge suppress any gruesome photos of the victims, as they may prejudice the jury. The prosecution objected to this motion, stating photos of the dead boys are illustrative of the testimony of the state's witnesses. Another motion requests that the jury pool include convicted felons. The prosecution did not object to this motion as long as it abides by the law, which states convicted felons may serve on juries as long as they have been granted final release from the state and termination of post-release control.
Motions aside, this courthouse will be busy next summer. The judge has set the trial date for July 8th. The prosecution says they should expect at least a month to hear the case.
But before that happens, the judge will need to decide on the motions, which will happen in late November. Until that time, Dorman will remain in jail, held without bond. In Batavia, this is David Winter reporting.
Freaking crazy, man. Yeah, they have 41 freaking motions, but you see like how those motions, like trying to figure can manipulate the case and trying to say they don't want to show no photos of the freaking crime because they feel like that would prejudice the jury, man. Yeah, because if they see the photos, bro, I'm guessing it would make them see the true extent of what he did, bro. Can't believe he did that to his sons, man. His own blood, bro. People like that, man, freaking truly evil and despicable, bro. My eyes, man. Thoughts about that case down below.
Elena Smith was a beautiful, kind-spirited, animal-loving preteen who was horrifically murdered by an evil, sadistic man. Elena Marie Smith was born May 10, 2010 in Lancaster, Pennsylvania to parents Tiffany Landis and Dwayne Smith. Elena was a curious spirit with a beaming smile and an infectious laugh. She was funny and extremely intelligent. Her favorite show was National Geographic's, and she wanted to be a veterinarian. She went to Columbia Middle School, where she also played on the girls' basketball team. On the night of Wednesday, February 8, 2023, Elena and Jason were watching movies at her home while Tiffany was at work. Jason Shackelford was Tiffany's ex-boyfriend and a registered sex offender. Jason raped and strangled Elena, after which he drank some alcohol and smoked some cigarettes for a few hours. He put Elena's body in the basement freezer and texted Tiffany saying Elena was sick and bad. At 7:30 a.m., Tiffany came home and found Elena's bed empty. Jason told Tiffany that he took Elena to New York where she was safe. But then he started using Elena's safe return as leverage. Jason kidnapped Tiffany and took her to a hotel where he repeatedly raped her. Jason let Tiffany have a smoke break and she went outside and told a hotel employee and they called the police. Jason was arrested February 10th. He confessed to the murder and is being held at the Lancaster County Prison. The prosecutor will be seeking the death penalty. When interviewed, Elena's dad said, "I'm never going to be the same. I'm dead inside." This was such a horrific and, honestly, really hard case to get through. I honestly hope he gets the death penalty. What do you guys think about this case? Like and follow for more.
And a bone-chilling case, man. Like I said, why she hadn't freaking watching a kid? Did she know he was a registered, you know what, man? Because I'm like, what the hell? She must have didn't know or something. I'm like, bro, you can go and say you took her to New York knowing that she was in a freezer downstairs the whole time, knowing what you was doing, bro. Having the dad say he was dead inside because of what the freaking actions that he did, bro. Crazy, man. She said it was pushing people, the court said it was pushing for the death penalty on that one, so hey, man, I don't got too much to say about that now. Then you guys know what to do. I really don't want to see if I start seeing pins on these cases that I'll be reviewing together with you guys.
No, silly, to dry it. But it exploded, and they were both found
was sentenced to life in prison after she murdered a stranger out of curiosity. 23-year-old Jung Yoo-jung had an obsession with true crime shows and novels, and reportedly she became fixated on the idea of, quote, trying out a murder. In early 2023, Jung was unemployed and living with her grandfather when she decided that she wanted to live out her fantasy. She downloaded a tutoring app to start looking for a victim, posing as the mother of a high school student who needed English lessons. She reportedly talked to more than 50 potential victims, mostly women, asking if they conducted lessons at their home. And finally, she found her target, a 26-year-old woman from the southeastern city of Busan. The victim's identity has not been disclosed. After choosing her victim, Jung purchased a school uniform online and went to the woman's house, and once she was let inside, she attacked. She stabbed the woman more than 100 times, many of which happened after the victim had already died. Jung then dismembered the victim's body, put several body parts in a suitcase, and took a taxi to a remote area north of Busan. Thankfully, the taxi driver noticed something was up and called police to report a customer who had dumped a blood-soaked suitcase in the woods. After Jung's arrest, police found that her internet browsing history showed that she had spent months researching how to kill and how to get rid of the body. On top of the witness account from the taxi driver, CCTV footage showed her entering and leaving the victim's home several times, further implicating her. Jung was arrested in May 2023 and in June pleaded guilty, confessing that her interest in committing a murder had been inspired by crime shows and TV programs. She tried to plead for a more lenient sentence, saying that she had suffered hallucinations and other mental disorders at the time she committed the murder. However, the court rejected her plea, saying that they determined the murder had been, quote, carefully planned and carried out, and it is difficult to accept her claim of mental and physical disorder. The court also cited how Jung's statements to police had changed, because initially she said she had only moved the body after someone else killed the woman, and then she changed her story to say that the murder had occurred as a result of an argument. And then she eventually confessed, leading to her guilty plea. It was noted by police that Jung also scored highly on a psychopath test. Prosecutors were seeking the death penalty in the case, but last month she was officially sentenced to life in prison. The sentencing judge said, quote, the murder had spread fear in society that one can become a victim for no reason and incited a general distrust among the community. But Jung will remain in prison for the rest of her life, and may the victim rest in peace.
Do you guys remember?
It's freaking crazy, bro. Because she got inspired by all the freaking true crimes, TV shows and movies and stuff like that, she wanted to try out a murder, bro. Just to a random person that did nothing to you just because you had that curiosity in mind. And like I said at the end, she just said like how it freaking spread a distrust in the community, bro. Of course it will, because it's just like somebody's just interested in doing that and just takes out a random person. That makes you question everybody around you, their motives. Like I said, man, you can't trust somebody in this world, but you always gotta be careful. There's danger lurking around every corner. Tell me you got stuff down below in that case.
For the disturbing case of Amina and Sarah Saeed. On January 1st, 2008, Yasser Saeed took his two daughters' lives, Amina and Sarah, because he found out that they had boyfriends. Yasser and Patricia had 3 children, Amina, Sarah, and their son, but all the women in the family feared that Yasser would take their lives if they didn't listen to him. He was abusive and controlling, and according to his cultural beliefs, his daughters were not allowed to date anyone, and he had actually tried to sell them to an arranged marriage multiple times. At 18 years old, Amina secretly started dating a boy named Joseph, but not long after, her father found a love letter that she had wrote to him. Yasser was very upset and began beating Amina until she confessed who this boy was, but she never told him. Within days, Yasser moved the entire family from Bedford to Louisville, Texas. Amina and Sarah were convinced that it was only a matter of time until their father took their lives, so on Christmas Day, they ran away with their mother and cut all contact with their father. But this didn't stop Yasser from trying to track his family and manipulate their mother to returning home. And when Yasser eventually got a hold of Patricia, he convinced her to return home with Amina and Sarah. The girls were terrified and resisted, but eventually gave in when their mother pressured them and reassured them that everything would be okay. But unfortunately, this was not the case at all. On New Year's Day in 2008, Amina and Sarah met with their father to go out for dinner and supposedly hash things out.
but Yazzer shot them to death in his taxicab and fled the scene. There's actually a recording of Sarah in her final moments when she called police, and you can hear her frantically screaming and telling police that her father had just shot her. Yazzer went into hiding for more than 12 years and was placed on the FBI's most wanted list. But in August 2020, he was finally found and arrested in a home in Justin, Texas. And you know what's crazy? His son and his brother actually helped him hide out all these years. Yazzer denied taking his daughter's lives, but the prosecution described the motive as honor killings, which happens when a woman in the family brings dishonor to the entire family. Yazzer was sentenced to life in prison, and his son and brother were sentenced to more than 10 years in prison.
It's freaking crazy, bro. I've seen that case a couple times, but I didn't know that he was on a run for freaking 12 years. He got away with it for 12 years, man. Found out his son and brother was hiding him. The son, man, he did that to your sisters, bro. You were just hiding them like that. These cases, bro. If you can turn my brain, man, every single time, man. I think it can't get worse, but it can, bro. Tell me what you guys think down below.
Curtain number 1 is correct.
This woman created such disturbing videos that she was sentenced to 50 years in prison. This story is truly one of the worst things that I've ever covered here on TikTok, so if you have a weak stomach or you can't hear about animal cruelty, please keep scrolling. So this is Ashley Richards from Houston, Texas. In 2015, she pleaded guilty to 4 counts of producing and 1 count of distributing these disturbing videos. And once again, I'm going to warn you, you can keep scrolling at any time before we get into these details. So this all started in 2012 when PETA, or the group known as People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, contacted the Houston police about a video they had found online. This film was titled Ebony Kill Cat, and it depicted extremely sadistic and cruel acts being forced upon a kitten. So the police got into contact with the people from PETA, and they then sent them 20 additional videos. These videos depicted the sadistic torture of various animals, including kittens, a fish, pigeon, crayfish, mice, a rabbit, all being tortured with different things like high heels, knives, screwdrivers, and pliers. In the videos, the woman that appeared in them was wearing a Mardi Gras style mask, and she would talk suggestively to the people watching this torture. Yes, that meant that there were paying customers out there that were paying this woman to produce these absolutely horrific videos. I cannot share the details of some of these videos. You can actually find the information online through news articles, but I mean, I think I changed as a person after reading these articles. Eventually, though, the police were able to track Ashley's IP address, which led them to her suburban home in Houston. This is an example of one of the messages she shared with the client. I mean, just, ugh. That led them to Brent Justice and Ashley Richards. These were the two that were producing these videos and selling them on a website online. And Congress had recently passed a bill making this specific type of video material, otherwise known as crush, illegal. So thankfully they were arrested. Shockingly, though, Brent Justice, after the trial, he was actually sentenced to 50 years in prison. Shockingly, though, Ashley, the woman who actually carried out these acts on camera, was only sentenced to 10 years in prison. Now, personally, this is one of the most disturbing things I've ever read about, and I definitely think she should have been in prison for a lot longer, but that's the justice system.
It's freaking crazy. They should have freaking swapped. Like, how the heck did she got tortured all those freaking poor animals, man? She only got 10 years. But because I guess the guy he must have been distributing, he got 50? The hell? Nah, they gotta swap sentences, man. Actually, they both should just got 50 years. I don't know, man. It's something. But the end of that case doesn't sit right with me, man.
We have literally hit a point in society where people are filming themselves committing murder. posting it on social media for attention and still thinking they're gonna get away with it. This is one of the most disturbing cases I've seen in a while. And because of our generation's relationship to the internet, I think it's gonna become increasingly more common. This is about the murder investigation involving 2 teens in Las Vegas. At 5:30 a.m. on August 14th, police received a call about a hit and run. A 72-year-old man was riding his bike when he heard a car start honking behind him. He saw the car speeding towards him in his rearview mirror and tried to avoid it, but the teens still hit him. He sustained a knee injury, but nothing life-threatening. That same vehicle, as you can see here, later rammed into a white Toyota. They speed away and eventually come upon a 64-year-old Andy Props riding his bicycle. The 16-year-old passenger films as the 17-year-old driver speeds up and strikes Andy, who flips over the vehicle and lands behind them in the road. Police say he was thrown about 96 feet. And while all this happened, the teens were laughing excitedly about this, and they even filmed Andy's body lying in the street. He passed away in the hospital shortly after. The driver was arrested the same day, but authorities didn't know about the video until a couple weeks later, when a school resource officer saw that the video was going viral on social media. He handed this video over to police, and they were able to use that information to arrest the 16-year-old passenger and charge both of them with murder. Now that the teens have been identified, we're learning a lot of new details about their past. The driver has been identified as Jesus Ayala. When he was taken into custody, he told officers he'd be out in 30 days. Because the juvenile system would give him a slap on the wrist. He has a lengthy record in the juvenile system. The passenger who recorded the incident has been identified as Jameer Keys. Keys was placed in the child welfare system at just 8 years old, when his mother was charged with 5 counts of child abuse. This was after police found her 5 children aged 2 to 9 home alone without access to food. It's easy to brush this off and just say that these teens are evil. But I actually think this is just a reflection of how our society is refusing to address these systemic issues that lead to this cruel and sadistic behavior. And when you throw in the fact that kids have unregulated access to the internet nowadays, we're screwed.
So you were saying at the end, man, it was facts. Like, just like I said a couple of few minutes ago, like how people, they record these horrific acts, man, thinking they can just get away with it, man. He so hurt him. He said, I'll be out in 30 days. They're just going to give me a slap on the wrist, man. I wonder what was his thoughts when they said, no, you can't charge for murder, bro. Like, you're not getting out. Like, to freaking record them like that, man. You hit somebody off their bike, and what possesses you to record and laugh thinking that that's funny? It's not funny. That's not something you should joke about, man. Like I said, bro, these freaking people, man, these evil, horrific acts, man. Always gotta be vigilant, always gotta be aware, man. You never know what can happen, bro. YouTube, that's it, man, for this video for you guys today, man. Like I said, tell me in the comment section down below, guys. Do you guys think I fixed the audio, man? Like I said, I fixed the audio levels for you guys, because some of you guys said it was too low, so I turned it up a little bit, man. I'm not trying to freaking blast your ears, man, but tell me, like I said, if you guys want me to adjust even more so it can be a little bit louder, I can do that. Like I said, guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, man. We're at 437 subscribers, man. So let's just hit that algorithm, man. So only we can do that, man. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, man. Like I said, we're trying to hit 1,000, so I greatly appreciate the support. Guys, gonna catch you in the next one, man. Out. Peace, YouTube.